Come on. All right, it says we are live. So, how's everyone doing this evening? We'll let everybody get in. I'll do a quick roll call. Let's see, we got Dan O'Neill. He came in early. We got Scott, Jay Harrow. Jay Harrow's drinking that Buffalo Trace. I love me some Buffalo Trace, so very good choice. CZ Shadow Superfan, Frank, Richard Jenkins, Pistol Pete. All right. If anybody else comes in, we'll give them a shout out. But tonight we have Wheeled and Well Armed on. How are you doing this evening, sir? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
All right. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing good. Very good.
Good.
We're in sunny Georgia.
All right. Yeah. I'm in Oklahoma City this week, so it is it's a good fun time. But yeah, we got Dennis Becker, Indy Irish, Kathleen, Keith Gregory. All right. Well, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and we can. I know that I was going to ask you if you have a YouTube channel, but you already do. And for everyone that, please go over and sub to him. His link is in the chat and also in the description of this video. So please go over and sub to him. He's got some really cool guns, super nice guns. But tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
I was disabled about 20 years ago. I fell down the elevator shaft in 1999 in Czech Republic, moved back to the States and came, went through the VA system, got better. And then I've been kind of an advocate for the 2A community and shooting, trying to find my way in shooting sports, and, was kind of forced to suffer through BB guns and little crap like that. Yeah. And, just kept asking about, how can I shoot 9mm and, ARs, and everybody's like, well, we don't have anything like that for the disabled. And, so I joined in Atlanta. There's an indoor range, kind of like IWPA, called GADPA, Greater Atlanta something, but just trying to get more and more notice out there. So about a year ago, I started a YouTube channel, Willed and Well Armed, trying to advocate. I don't get very much traction for my disabled videos. So, my real gun videos bring all the, views, unfortunately, but trying to get the word out there. So if anybody does know anybody that's in a wheelchair or disabled in any way, I'd love to talk with them, help them, take them to the range or help them any way I can.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
A lot of my videos are about me being a quadriplegic and trying to get better triggers. So probably none of my videos will be monetized for that reason. Once I do hit the number, but I'm not in it for money or monetization. I'm just here to have fun and do some videos and communicate with the community.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been following you for a while, and you and I have been talking, and I think you've been following me for a while too. And yeah, you do really good tabletop videos. I watched your shooting. Your short videos are really nice. It's kind of concise and to the point. You just go out and shoot it and pull the target in and show people what you do, and you're a pretty damn good shot too. So, like I said, there's a lot of veterans out there. There's a lot of people that are just disabled, from medical conditions, and like yourself falling down that elevator shaft, and if we can get them on our side, that's just more power to us. So, and we'll go ahead and get into it now, because I know I'll ask you this question. Were you in the military or law enforcement?
I was military. So right out of high school, I went to the Army, 11 Bravo Charlie 2. I was a dragon gunner. I shot 8 live rounds. They're about 75,000 each. And then on the last round, the tag was pink. The moisture detector was pink. It went straight up in the air, came straight down in front of me. All I could hear was people running away from me while I was locked in that wire-guided missile. And anyway, I didn't know it was coming down right in front of me, or I would have ran. But it went. Luckily, it went right into a hardball road, a paved road, and the paved road acted like armor. So it went through the paved road and mushroomed up like a big anthill that was about 3 feet tall. So that saved my life. And they never let me shoot the dragon again, so I became a 60 gunner.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your service. You know, that is awesome that you were a vet, and we appreciate your service. You do have some questions already. Jay Harrow is asking, Czech Republic, what took you there?
I got divorced right out of college, so I went to Czech Republic because I was told there was cheap beer and beautiful women.
Yeah, and great guns, and great guns.
And I didn't know about that, but I found all three.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome, man.
When
Yeah, I've never been there. I've always wanted to go there.
I bought a CZ without a serial number.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know you could.
There was a law, and then they realized there was no law covering serial numbers. So they said, well, you could buy one without one, but it's right now they're probably going to make it where we have to have serial numbers on all three parts pretty quick. Wow. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, why not? Right.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. And you've got, Keith saying thank you for your service. Dennis is saying thank you for your service. Of course, I appreciate your service. And I know that Bald was in the Czech Republic too. But now Keith is asking you, and you and I have talked about this too, and I know how, or I won't get into it. I'll let you get into it. But do have a question. What is your EDC? Now, I want to add to Keith's question. How do you EDC? And you just showed me something, and I know that you can show that part of it on YouTube. But this will be very interesting for a lot of people that don't know how you carry, since you are quadriplegic.
Yeah. Let me reach down and get it. Sorry. So this is my new holster. It's leather, and it clips onto my wheelchair. So I've got this little bracket that's 6 inches long by 1.5 inches, and those two clips act as my belt.
Okay.
It's right here by my knee, and even this big bag, people do not notice it at all. So I've got a 85 Combat, a CZ 85 Combat in it, so it'll hold a CZ Shadow 2. It'll hold a CZ 35 Transitional, the pre-B. A lot of the fun guns go. I can even put a 45 SAR K245 in there.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we were talking about. One of the questions were, what do you carry? And he just said that he's carrying the CZ 85 Combat. But do you have a preferred? Is that your preferred gun to carry, or do you rotate your carry, or what do you do on that?
I do rotate. I try to stay with a gun for a whole month, just because the variants of them, slightly different. I try to stay away from decockers, just because, my Rami is a decocker. I think, and then the P229, that's got that weird setup. I never even carry it because it's just so odd for me to have that SIG with the back. I'd hate to, think I'm pushing the slide forward and take it off at a firing position, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I try to stay away from, once I realize a gun has a different manual of arms, I never really carry it at that point.
Yeah. And, that's one of the things that I enjoy about different guns is, I can carry different, decockers, safeties, double action, single action, whatever, striker fire, to where I can be familiar and keep staying familiar with the different manual of arms. But in your situation, I can completely understand, you definitely want to be super, super comfortable with whatever you're carrying. Hello, Alaskan Ballistics. He is in here and he's asking something about a Glock. Winner. He's saying, Winner, are you giving away your better CZ than CZ Glocks? Yeah. We don't care about Glocks here. You're on the wrong channel.
I carried a Glock 26 for years. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just giving him crap. Hell, you can go to Home Depot and buy 2x4s more comfortable than a Glock. But hello, Keenan. How are you, sir?
Hey, Keenan.
Yeah, I wanted the 85 Combat, and I tried to get one, but I wanted the dual tone. The they have the all black one and then they have that dual tone one.
Yep.
And man, I had an opportunity to buy one of the dual tones, brand spanking new. And I was like, oh, I'll come back, in a couple of days and pick it up. When I went back, it was gone, and I haven't found one since. So
I've seen one my whole life in for sale and missed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Bald is saying that you need a rocket launcher on your wheelchair like 007. That'd be pretty awesome.
I do.
Yeah. You could have some cool stuff. Hello, Wiley. How are you doing, sir? Yeah, Kathleen, he was saying that he does carry a 45 periodically also. Let's see here.
Kathleen is asking if I prefer hammer fire. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I think we were talking about that earlier. Let's see. And I don't know if Fina's asking, but do you like Glocks? I guess she's asking us, do we like Glocks? Do you like Glocks?
I've got two right now. I've gotten rid of most of them, but I've got a Glock 17, kind of my Gucci Glock, and it's fun to shoot. I've got a real big red dot. I think it's a 6 or an 8. So it's fast. I mean, that dot just boom, it's in your face, even daylight, right? I love that. But, as far as pinpoint accuracy, you just don't get it with the big dot. But, you get the speed.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I do have personally 2 Glocks. And then my PCC takes Glock mags also. I mean, not that I'm against Glocks. I mean, I think they're a great SHTF gun, like I've said before, because you can get parts from them, you can get magazines, you can find them everywhere. I mean, if stuff really went down, that is the gun to carry with you. But I do prefer other guns over Glocks. So I'll just leave it at that. They'll all do the job. But, when it comes to better triggers and things like that, yeah, you can upgrade a Glock, but out of the box, with steel sights and better triggers. I mean, hell, I think the P10C personally is better out of the box comparing a gun to a gun, but you can always make a Glock whatever you want to, because it's like the Lego of guns, you can make it however you want it.
Right.
But yeah. And I, and I keep going back to this, and I've said this numerous times, and I know that Alaskan Ballistics is younger than me. I know that, probably quite a bit younger. And, I grew up on 1911s. He might have grew up on Glocks. And that's what I see a lot of people that are even younger than me. If you start on Glocks or you get used to Glocks, Glocks, that angle and everything is kind of your go-to. But if you grew up on 1911s and you shoot 1911s all the time, and that's what you grew up on, you get used to that angle. So you can make anything work, but it's a preference. So nothing wrong with either one. It's just what you prefer.
Because my first pistol was a Browning high power. My dad had those and just loved them. And, he always said, 13 rounds are better than 6.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's well, and I can kick myself in the face for this, but after I saw the Browning high power, and if y'all want to see a badass Browning high power, Wield and Weld Arm has one. When I saw it, I was like, God, I was just killing myself for selling mine. But I had a Belgium. What was the year on it? I want to say it was was it a 68, 69 or something? But it was the OG one.
Yeah, those are really nice.
Yeah, it was the original one. And I had a guy that was and I really didn't shoot it that much. I loved it. It was beautiful. It didn't have a scratch on it. And I actually shot it a lot. But I had a guy that was beating me up about it, selling it to him. So I was like, okay, I'll sell it to you. And then after I sold it, like 2 years later, they skyrocketed, especially for the one that I had. So I'm like,
Well, there've been a huge supply of just a train of them coming in from Israel for the last 4 years. And I bought 3 and, fix them up different ways and just love them. But I think that gravy train is about to run out. The last one I've seen on Gun Brokers now going for 1,000. So now the guy didn't have any. So they're drying up.
Yeah, and the one that I had, hell, I've seen it going for $2,500. For that, the older ones, the true Belgian ones.
Yeah.
But now I can't remember. Do you have a 97, a CZ97B or BD?
No, I was going that way for the longest time, and then I ended up buying the I can't say, just SAR K12 or K2 45, and it holds 14 rounds and versus 10 rounds. So I never figured out, the 97 came out during the ban, when the 10 round magazine, and they never upgraded to the 14 round magazine. So, when I kept researching it, and, 2 years ago, I bought my first K2 45, and I loved it. It shoots, I'd say the trigger is equal to a stock CZ2, a Shadow 2, just out of the box. Yeah. And it got better on its own. And so I got the stainless, the compact one, but it's only about a quarter inch shorter. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have a 97B, and I really like it. It's a great gun. Matter of fact, there is, and someone told me this, and I saw someone do it, that you can take a Tanfo base plate, the base plate extensions, and you can put them on a CZ97B or BD mag, and it can give you like a +4 or +5. I haven't personally tried it, and I have Tanfo mags. I just don't have any extensions. So I was going to try it. But yeah, it's a great shooting gun, super accurate. Trigger could be better, but you can do so much stuff to that gun, with CZ Customs and stuff like that. But it is an awesome gun. And matter of fact, I tried to get it milled for a dot, and the slide, the way that it, with the little plunger thing that pops up and the way that it's angled, right, he couldn't put a dot on it. So I was like, damn, but I definitely would dot that gun if I could.
Right. Even a compact dot, you couldn't put that on like a.
Well, and that's the thing, the way that plunger works, and then you would have to mill it flat and then put a plate on it, like the Trijicon plates. And he just said it wouldn't, it would kind of be like a 1911, which he could do it, but that plunger thing was kind of coming into play, and he was like, you probably don't want to mess with that channel. And he only does it if he knows it's not going to interfere with anything. He doesn't just want to chop up a gun and see if it's going to work.
Right.
So, and I can respect that. I don't want something jerry rigged or duct taped on there. I mean, hell, if that was the case. And I know that they make where you can push the side out and stick those little plates in there, but I've shot guns like that where they're sticking up real high, and I'm just not a big fan of that personally. And plus, I've even seen them where, I've shot one, and as I was shooting it, that plate was wiggling with the recoil, and the dot was all over the place, and I was just like, no, this isn't for me.
I kind of prefer mine to be direct milled over a plate.
Yes.
I realize the plate is about 1/8 of an inch too high or higher.
Yeah. No, I definitely prefer direct mill. Hello, Havoc. How are you this evening? Let's see. All right. Quick questions. And we'll go ahead and get to it. How old were you when you were introduced to guns?
8.
8? And yeah. What was it, pistols, rifles?
It was a 22, Remington 22.
Okay.
So I would go to great granddaddy's farm, we'd shoot that, but I was given a BB gun in just full range, and it was a Daisy 1-cock. Yeah. And so by the time I was 10, I was just given the 22 and a bunch of ammo, and it was in my bedroom. So I just, we had a subdivision with just nothing but wilderness. I had, 150 acres in my backyard. There was no buttons, neighborhood behind me. So I would just go squirrel hunting, bird hunting, just practicing anything all the time. So I'd shot 1,000 rounds a year, since I was 10 on.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I've always said this. I love 22s. They're just so dang fun.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put the tough one on you here. You have to pick one favorite pistol, and it can be what you had or current, one favorite pistol and one favorite rifle.
My favorite pistol right now is the Bull Viper.
Okay.
I can't carry it because it's got the red dot and it just doesn't fit in my holster. But it right now, just as a range toy, I'm going to figure out how to holster it, but it is definitely my favorite.
Yeah. And I've seen your videos and other people's videos on that, but I haven't personally seen one in a shop yet. But I mean, everything about it I love, except that shield. I'm not a fan of that dot. I've shot that dot. I just personally don't care for it. I'm not knocking anybody that likes it, but I know that you could put the 507K on it at least. I think you can. But that's kind of what pushed me to the staccato C2. Because it's kind of like that type of gun.
Right.
Matter of fact, the Viper is actually less expensive. And I think it's a great quality gun, and you can get the longer grip or the shorter, the 15 round or what's the other one? Is it 17 or 19 rounds for the longer grip? Did you freeze on us?
Yep, I'm back.
Okay. On the longer grip for the Viper, is it 17 or 19?
19.
19, yeah.
And you can get that without any dot. So you could have it milled for a dot just without the dot, and there's a discount for no dot.
Okay. Yeah, I would, if they could mill it, and I think the 507K will fit on there. I think it will. Unless there's some kind of weird cut or something where it's just too tight. But even if I had to have the front milled off of it, but like I said, that's a gun that I'm definitely interested in, but I just want to, like see one at a store so I could put my hands on it and play with it and all that. But that comp really, I love the comp.
Their business model just won't allow it because they're selling through distributors direct. And so you've got to pay 50% up, wait 6 to 8 weeks and get it shipped. Yeah.
And there's a guy that I follow. I'm sorry, I can't remember his channel. He's in Texas, and he actually became a distributor for them. But he got a lot in and then sold them out. And due to the COVID and all that other stuff, they just weren't shipping a bunch of them into the States at that time. So he hasn't gotten any more of them yet. But as soon as he does, he's supposed to let me know. So we'll see.
Yeah, because they're almost COVID free over in Israel. So they should really be ramping up now.
Yeah. And maybe they just haven't gotten his yet, to him. He said that he had some on order, but I don't know how many he ordered or if they're already, accounted for or what. But
now they do have a R version. Have you heard about the R version? It's got a metal grip and the gold barrel, and it's all stainless steel. It's really nice looking.
It's all pimped out. That's probably the one I'd want.
Yeah, so that one's extra $650. But if you save the site, you could get around there.
Yeah. Well, hell, I mean, because yours was like, isn't it like $1,800 or something like that?
Yep. 1870 something like. Yep.
Yeah. Well, hell, the Staccatos, $2,500. So, I mean.
Yeah, same ballpark.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're still about right there. And then, what's your favorite rifle?
Right now, it's the PWS MK11. It's the 11-edge 223 Wild or 556. Sorry, I just love that. It's a great shooting rifle. It's got the adjustable gas block. It's just kind of a perfect go-to. It's light enough out front. It weighs 6.5 pounds, so I can hold it out front without stomach muscles and not fall over.
Yeah.
So it's been a good fit for me. I've got it. I mean, I could actually put it in on my arm, on my forearm. I've got the tail hook on all my rifles because you can actually look down where with the actual SB brace, you have to have a broken arm to look down the red dot. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of strange when I've tried it like that before too, and it is a little weird. Let's see here. While Bill is saying, hello, Gun Nation. Hello, Gun Nation. No, that's awesome. I really enjoy 5.5. I mean, the thing is, and I'm older than most people probably on the chat. You and I are about close to the same age, but I was shooting 223 5.56 way back. And there's nothing against that round. I really like it, but since I was able to get around the 300 blackout, and I've always been a 308 fan, huge 308 fan. But when I was able to get a hold of another 30 cal, like the 300 blackout, I really became a big 300 blackout fan. And, I know you can shoot supers and you can shoot subs out of it. And I've got a can and everything. However, and most people will be like, what? But out of my 300 blackout, I actually, now for the novelty part, the subs are cool. and they're super quiet. But I actually enjoy shooting supersonic out of my 300 blackout, because you've got, 110, 124, 140, whatever you want to shoot, they pretty much make it.
Right.
And you can also go to subs if you want, and different grains of sub. But you lose a lot of the true, not necessarily just the velocity alone, but the foot pounds, because you're taking it down from like 1,100 foot pounds down to 580. So that's a huge difference. I mean, you're talking a 45 caliber right there, basically. But a heavy 45. But I really do enjoy the 300 blackout. And a lot of people say, oh, 7.62 is the same thing, but not for your variety of choices of grain that you can shoot.
I have a PWS. It's called the MK107 as well, the 300 blackout. So it's got the 7-inch barrel, and I do like shooting it. I just don't have as much ammo. I've got 400 rounds, 250, and a bunch of boxes. So not as much as I got. 6.
I won't say how many rounds I have, but I'm okay. But matter of fact, I was at a store. I was at Academy here in Oklahoma City, and I was just driving by at lunchtime, and I was like, no lines, no nothing. I'll just swing in there and see what they had. They had 223, they had 5.56, they had 45, no 9. They had already sold out of it, but they had gotten their order earlier that morning, and I picked up 100 rounds. It was the UMC Remington, just 55 grain, 223, and it was $29.99 for 50 rounds, which isn't super great, but in the times right now, that's not too bad. And I thought, shit, I'll buy it, because I have a buddy of mine that needs some. He told me if I found some to grab it. So I don't absolutely have to have it. And if he says, yeah, I want it, then I'll just give it to him for the same price I paid for it. I'm not going to mark it up. But, I try to help out good friends and stuff when they need ammo, especially in times like this. But I am starting to see ammo come back, in Texas. Now, some places are charging an arm and a leg for it, and some places are being a little more reasonable. But what about in your area? I know that you're in Atlanta, but what about, are you starting to see ammo come back more readily, or is it still hit and miss?
It's actually gotten worse in the last month and a half.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not a guy I don't go to, only place I go to is my range.
Yeah.
I go there weekly. And so I bought in January, I bought I bought 3,000 rounds of 9mm, but it was, remanufactured. So every time I go to the range, I'll take 50 rounds of remanufactured, and then I'll buy a box of good stuff and save the good stuff, and with a way to build up inventory, right? And still get to do videos. And the last month, they just haven't had it. So I buy 45 instead, and then I bring a 45 just in case.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and that's what I was telling everybody to do way back when. Is if you're gonna shoot a box, buy 2 boxes. If you could, and get them for reasonable prices, and that way you could build up your stockpile. Hello, Red Menace. I hadn't seen you until now, and still creepy true patriot, saying I can still buy a 7.62 by 39. Where can I find blackout? Yeah, that's the thing. I see blackout periodically here and there, but it's either super sky high or it's 150. And I honestly, and this is just me, I don't shoot 150. I want to shoot 110. 127, 125, something like that, or I want to shoot 220 or 208. I don't, the 150 and the 150 that I have shot, it's not very accurate. Now I know that 300 blackout's not the most accurate, but that's probably the least accurate round in the 300 blackout series is that 150 grain. It just seems like it's kind of the, I'll just say it seems like it's kind of the bastard child of 300 blackout. It wants to be accurate, but it can't, and it can't be subsonic, so it's just why I have it for me.
Can I segue into that 6.8 we talked about?
Do what now? I'm sorry.
Can I segue into that 6.8?
Yes.
I do have a giveaway for my 1,000 subscriber. It's a 6.8 SBC upper by Radical Firearms. They donated it to the channel. So definitely anybody here, all you need to do is email wheeled and armed, no just wheeled and armed @gmail.com, and I'll enter you.
Wow, that's awesome. Y'all heard it. So go over and sub to him. Now, I'm sure the rules, you have to be a sub. I would make that a part of the rules if not, but that's a hell of a giveaway. So if you want to win an upper, there you go. He's doing it for his 1,000 subscriber giveaway. But yeah, it's like I said, when I'm out and about, I try to find ammo. I try to find, some good deals, and sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And that's like we were talking about earlier off the air. Is there anything out there, and this is for the chat too, is there anything out there that y'all are super excited about trying to get right now? Whether it be a pistol, a rifle, PDW, whatever, shotgun. Is there anything that y'all are really excited about? What about you, Will and Wildarm? Is there anything that you've been looking for?
I do have a staccato on my mind for this year. So I'd like to get that. But because I've got the Bull, I've got a Wilson Combat, EDC X9. So I'd like to be able to compare all three and, shoot all three and see how those are undoubtedly the top three double stack, small 9mm out there.
Yeah, I'm going to put this, everyone, I'm typing this, but his link is actually pinned in the very top comment of this chat. So, and also in the description of this exact video. So his link is there. Just go up to it, tap it, and it'll take you right over to his channel.
Hey, Doug, I'm with you on the DWX Compact.
Yes, and that's what we were talking about earlier. That is a gun that I still want. I really, between the two, you're going to be able to get the compact whenever it comes out, the compact or the full size. I'm more excited about the full size personally. I don't know which one you're going after, or do you have a preference?
Well, I don't have any P10 magazines, so I've got 100 of the steel frame magazine. So that means I have to get the compact. Yeah,
and see, I've got tons of the P10F mag, so that would just be adding two more. I think it's going to come with two, but I'm very excited about that gun, to have a single action, kind of Shadow 2-ish gun, with being able to tune the trigger and the full rail and things like that. That's pretty exciting. The first thing I want to do is mill it, and I thought with this downtime, since they already have the Shadow 2 optic ready, that wouldn't be any difficult thing for them to do, to just go ahead and mill the damn things and have them ready to go to throw some optics on them. But knowing them, they would mill them, and then they wouldn't have any plates for them. So like they did with all the rest of them. So,
maybe Colt will start manufacturing. I'm really hoping for, really put Colt to use.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's one reason I was thinking that CZ, now of course CZ has Dan Wesson for 1911s, but I was thinking that CZ might go after Colt, for like the revolvers. And I know that Dan Wesson makes revolvers, but I was thinking they might go after him for the Pythons and, the quality control of getting those things right. And also I know that CZ probably went after him for the American contracts that Colt had, but, right. And to have another foothold in the States. But, rather than seeing Colt go downhill and completely go out of business, I think this was a good thing for CZ to take them over. So at least we can hold on to Colt, even though I was pissed off when they stopped selling ARs and said they weren't going to sell their ARs to civilians. That pissed me off, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I've still seen a lot of uppers that are for sale.
Yeah.
The M4 uppers.
Yeah.
So if you want one, they're still out there readily available, and prices aren't too bad for those. I think, I don't know, maybe they weren't expensive, but I've seen them for sale on a good bit lately.
Yeah, I saw a Colt AR today, brand new, and it was $2,300, which I think's too much, but it is what it is, and somebody will buy it. But.
Right. Yeah, I think the upper was $1,100 just for the upper.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right. And then, I know we were talking about this earlier, but do you carry every single day?
Well, I'm at home.
When you Like when you're out and about, do you carry it everywhere you go?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I do adjust it. If I'm going downtown, when I used to work downtown, I would take a more affordable option than when I work, when I'm here in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Because if something were to happen, I don't want it to be, in some police locker for 6 months or a year.
Yeah. And that it's funny that you bring that up, because I get beat up about that all the time. Like if you carry a $3,000 gun and you have to use it in self-defense, the gun's going to be taken away and da this and da that. Well, of course, I don't care if you're using a high point or you're using a freaking $5,000 pistol. I carried 1911s that were double the price of this. But kind of where I am is, how much is your life worth? I mean, granted, I could shoot any pistol, but if I can shoot one maybe a little more accurately, a little more quicker, I feel even more comfortable with the 19 or 2011. I mean, what's your life worth? I mean, it is what it is, but I don't really worry about stuff like that. I kind of look at it as, if they take it, and I had to, I'd just go buy another one until I got it back. And then with the firearms protection that I have, it does give me $1,000 towards a gun if they keep it. I think if they keep it over like 3 months or something, they give me $1,000 towards another gun, which wouldn't replace that. But I mean, you can't worry about that little kind of stuff. I mean, you're using it to save your damn life.
Right. I do get, a little bit, just, just tape it, what I'm going to take downtown, especially, because some of the play, like if you go into the Braves game, the Falcons game, it's, you can't take it in the game.
Yeah. No, I completely get that. Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, there's reason, to decide to take a gun over another gun. I can completely understand that. But with my everyday life, it's like, I'm driving, I'm traveling, I'm doing what I need to do. So it's not like I carry 15 different pistols on me while I travel. So, I usually carry a pistol and a PDW, but, it is what it is. So if something happens, at least I've got what I need.
Right.
Let's see here. Yeah, Dennis is bringing up a good point too. Do you think the ammo prices and inventory will improve now that Remington Ammo Factory is up and running 24/7? What do you think about that?
I pray so, because I was thinking about buying 1,000 rounds back in last October, and I was like, oh, 350 is too much. And then, January, I'm like, oh, 550 is too much, and so I bought 3,000 rounds in January. And now, you can't get it less than 600, 700.
Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, I got an alert today for $7.99 for grab a gun for CCI, 9mm 115. But I remember I was buying CCI and Blazer brass for a 115 grain for $189 shipped. Which was a smoking deal, but I remember some people were griping about that price. And, that's, instead of buying 1,000 rounds then, I was buying like 3,000 rounds at a time, because I was shooting 1,500 to 2,000 rounds a month, which I don't do now. But, it's like, I know that it is going to help with having Remington back for sure. Matter of fact, a lot of the ammo I just saw was Remington ammo. It's the green and white. So they're definitely back, and it was fresh ammo. I mean, they hadn't, the days of having ammo sitting on a shelf with dirt on it, those days are done. That we won't see those anymore. But I think the prices are going to go down the more ammo that's brought in. I know people are importing it in, they're trying to load up on that too. So I think it is going to go down, but will it ever go down to what it was? I don't know about that. Over years and years and years from now, it could, but I just don't think we're going to see the prices that we were used to. Now you'll still see, the $14 box or maybe the $12 box, but you won't see the $9.99 boxes like we used to get of brass. I think that's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Not that I wish it wasn't, but I just don't think that's ever going to go back to that normal.
In June on my birthday, I got two cases at $195 a box, a case, and I was like, pretty ecstatic. And then that's when it kind of was getting normal back then, and then it went right back up, and we got really
Yeah.
bad in June.
Yeah, and it also depends, a lot of people have been, with all this stuff that Biden's trying to push with no online, ammo purchases and stuff, could we see a second wave of this crap? Some people have said, hey, I predict that, ammo is not going to come back down and it's still going to be hard to get because of all this gun control being pushed right now. And that could happen. But I think with a lot of the importation of ammo like the IWI and, some of that stuff that's coming in, I think that's going to help. But, we're just in a weird situation right now. It's all, if I had a crystal ball, I'd be a rich man. Unfortunately, I don't. But
well,
I just
it's kind of like, when the food first started, like hamburger meat was hard to get. Remember when hamburger meat was hard to get last March and April and May? And then, so, I would go to the restaurant and buy 5 pounds of, 10-pound tubes of beef from the restaurant. So, what I'm saying about ammo is going through the wholesale guys and through online guys, the distribution channel would change and start going back to local guys like it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know my actual local gun store, they're having to buy from multiple distributors of whoever has it. And they're just kind of like, here's our price, and I see what they're paying for it. I know these people and they're super, I try to buy everything I can from them. So I want to keep the loyalty in my backyard. But, I know they'll tell me, here's exactly what we paid for it. I'm like, holy crap, that's pretty damn high. And they're not marking it up much. They're only marking it up like $2 a box, but they're having to pay a lot for it nowadays. So,
I turned down the offer to a guy wanted me to buy into his company, an ammo company here in Georgia, like 4 years ago, and I turned it down.
Well, and that's the thing now. Back in the day, people were just like, man, we're selling ammo like crazy, but we're really not making anything because, we can't have that huge markup that we want. But now, the ones that have managed to stay around, I know a lot of the smaller ones, because we had some local ones that were like remanufactured and stuff like that, and they all went out, or not all of them, but a couple of them went out. And one of them needed to, they were selling trash. I had shot it and man, it was garbage. But, so they went away, but it's, now people are just trying to buy whatever they can buy, steel ammo, aluminum ammo. Whatever the hell they can get, they're trying to buy it. So.
Yeah, I bought a 45. It was a Para Ordnance P12, and it came with 8 boxes of ammo. And I'm like, well, that's definitely a sweetener for the pot, even if it's a tool.
Heck, I remember you could buy a Smith & Wesson. I bought a couple of Smith & Wesson 22s and stuff back in the day, and you got like a free box of 500 rounds or something of some kind of Winchester Black or whatever it was called. I can't remember, but yeah, they used to try to throw these little things in like a rebate. If you send in your rebate form, you get free ammo or, so many boxes of free ammo. So, yeah, I don't think they're doing that now. They don't have to.
Yeah.
But, and with all this gun stuff, if they start banning importation of guns and importation of ammo and all this other crap, that's going to create a whole nother mess. And that's why, think about where all the 7.62 by 39 comes from, or the majority of it. If they did that, people with 7.62s would have a whole difficult time getting a hold of ammo for the most part until, regular American companies ramped up and started running it too. So it turned into the 300 blackout thing all over again.
Big J, question for you.
Yes.
What do you think are the things that people should be buying now? Should it be Glock uppers and parts, or should it be, AKs, or what do you think is out there should be the thing that could be blocked by Biden?
The thing that and I've said this on a couple of chats recently, I would be buying up magazines. I would, get your standard capacity magazines, not these, or what I consider standard capacity, and most Americans should, because they've already got that on the table. So, because I look at it this way, with the AR platform, there's tons of AR parts out there. You know, if something breaks, like a firing pin or an extractor or something, you can get that pretty much anywhere. You should have an oops kit, you know, little springs and things like that. Uppers and lowers, and I know people are loading up on uppers and lowers, but you know, those things really don't fail, you know, as a hard part. They don't just explode unless you load a 300 blackout bullet in it or a round. So I would probably have, you know, extra bolts, or at least, you know, not, you don't need the whole bolt carrier group, but at least, you know, the bolt head. I'd have some of those, some extractors, tons of magazines for all your pistols, especially Glock magazines, your 33 rounders, your big sticks. If you run Glocks, I would have those. You know, I would load up on the stuff that could fail. Now, if you want to build stuff, then yeah, get uppers and lowers. But as a maintenance item, I don't think, you know, they just don't fail, you know, unless they're complete garbage. But there's really not a lot of that out there. I mean, even hell, Palmetto State stuff and, you know, Anderson lowers, I mean, they work. You know, I've got a few of them. I mean, not on guns, but I've got some extra stuff just in case something, you know, I needed them. But maybe a couple of charging handles, you know, and if you run 308, you know, you would want the 308 bolt and firing pin, you know, just some maintenance items. But I think magazines, if something's going to fail, it's usually a magazine, especially when you drop it. You're going to drop it on the feed lips. You could break it, crack it,
Yep.
you know, things like that. Because if you can't feed it, it's not going to run. So
I bought 20 of the C-Max, the Duramags.
Yep.
And, you know, they got those off colors like that forest green that nobody wants, but they're always in stock. And
Yep.
get them for $9.99 at Big Daddy or you know, $10.99 elsewhere.
And they're great magazines. Duramags are awesome. I mean, I've got tons of the red ones, the FDE ones. I mean, they're great mags. I'm a big Lancer mag fan. I love the steel feed lips because I have broken P mags. You know, the older ones, I had them because I keep them loaded, and it doesn't damage a magazine to keep it loaded. People are like, oh, don't keep them loaded. You know, if you don't want to top it off to 30, then just run 29 in it if you're worried about the feed lips. But, you know, on the plastic ones, over a period of time, they can fold out. But I had some of the old P mags, you know, they would crack down the actual sides. The Lancers have never done that because they got the steel feed lips and the steel reinforcement at the top. So that's why I really like those. And I've dropped P mags. I've chipped them, you know, chipped the feed lips. I've never chipped one on a Lancer, but that's just personal preference. They all work. But I say magazines, you know, and also you really got to think about, you know, make sure you have a sling, you know, at least one or two good slings. Also, I'm a big believer in gun bags, whether it be a pistol bag, rifle bag, PDW bag, whatever, because if you've got to grab some stuff and chunk it or whatever, you know, it's a lot easier to carry stuff in a bag than it is just to carry a bunch of rifles or chunk them in the bed of your truck. So
you carry also a good bag. That bag from a tactical, the 28-inch long bag, and I got the longer one, but man, that thing is made out of seat belts. It's real tough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I've seen them. Yeah.
Oh, you're the one that recommended it one video.
Yeah. You know, I'm a big believer in Lynx Defense. They're American-made bags. I mean, they're tough as nails. I've had them for going on 4 years, and I mean, I can't even scuff them up, and I drag them in and out of my truck. I mean, I don't baby my stuff, you know, and I carry way above the weight limit. There's really not a weight limit on it, but I've never busted zippers or the seams or anything, and I've torn the crap out of. I've got Draco bags. They're garbage. Broken zippers on them. I've even done videos where the zippers just broke on their own. I mean, buy once, cry once. You know, that's the way I look at it. They're expensive, but man, when you're getting a good quality bag, I mean, I beat the shit out of those bags and they last. So
yeah, you're right about the Draco. A lot of that stuff just, you know, one season won't even make it 6 months, you know, when you go to the range weekly.
Yeah. So I'm saying, you know, a lot of people just put their stuff in it and they're like, oh, I've had one for 15 years. Well, they're not running them like, you know, we're going to the range all the time and using those zippers and, you know, ripping them open and doing things like that. You know, I mean, I actually use my stuff. So, if I would just want to put a piece of, buy something and stick it up on a shelf, yeah, it'll last forever. But
I get the backpacks and I cut off all the straps and put them on my waist. And they get so fat and round, they almost roll off my waist. I got them so stuffed, going down.
Yeah. And that's the thing, especially in your situation, you've got to carry your stuff like in your lap or even put your backpack on the front of you to keep everything, there. Right. Because I have a friend of mine that's in a wheelchair too, and he loads his backpack and has everything to where he can just grab it right out of it. And, he's got to plan accordingly, and he carries too. So, it's like I said, it's just, you got to know what you have to make it work. And like, even with your holster setup, he doesn't have that. He actually he's got in his backpack, he's got the pistol, right there, where he's got access to it. But, like your pistol or your little holster for your pistol, that's a great idea. He likes to have everything right here. So that's just, he doesn't like to have to bend or look for it on the sides. He's kind of paranoid too about people grabbing this stuff.
Yeah, if I didn't have this
do what now,
belly, if I didn't have the beer belly, I would carry it on my, closer, but because I'm worried about getting thrown out of my chair and not having it.
Yeah, well, why have a six-pack when you can have a keg? That's the way I look at it. So, but yeah, if anybody's got any questions, we still got some time. Let's try to answer some questions. And if you have any questions for Will and Will Arm, and again, he's giving away that upper. So definitely go over and email him, follow his directions, and y'all can go into the top of the chat. His link is pinned there, and it's also in the comment section, or excuse me, in the video description. You can go over and comment to him. And Will and Will Arm, if you actually will just leave a comment down there, if you'll just type in a comment, that way they can see. If you'll just do that now, just type in something or whatever, and that way they'll be able to see you.
Yeah, I don't have YouTube open right now. Let me see.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. But let's see here. Yeah, it's and that's the thing. When it comes down to like the ATF and stuff is talking about taking away the pistol braces and doing this and doing that. They're not thinking about people like yourself, like the tail hook, and disabled veterans and people who have maybe a missing arm and things like that. I mean, they do serve a purpose for many, many people. And I think that if it really comes down to it and they truly try to outlaw this thing and they try to say, you can't have this and you can't have that, I think everyone in the disabled veterans or anyone in a disabled act should sue their ass and just say, no, that's not going to work. Because
Gun Owners of America saying, I want to be that case.
Exactly. And, that's even myself. I mean, I'm not in your situation. I don't have missing limbs, but I have, I do actually have really bad arthritis. And I don't really talk about it a lot, but I do. Been taking medication since I was 30. So, even sometimes when I grip a pistol, like if I have an off shooting day, I can just get to where sometimes I can't even clench my hands. And, I have large hands, but that's why I like the bigger grips and things like that. Even on an AR, I like the bigger grip. But there's things like that where if they're like, oh, we're going to start outlawing bigger grips or bigger this or whatever, I'm going to be like, bull crap. It's just, they just need to, they got so much crap to worry about with Chicago and, gang violence and all this shit happening. And they're worried about us. I mean, good American citizens, they're worried about us, but they can't even take care of their back door. And most of the politicians, what's her name? I always call her Beetlejuice, but the lady, I can't remember her name. Yeah, in Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. All this stuff's happening in her backyard. She's not doing the shit about it, but she wants to bitch about what's going on, in the rest of the nation and free states. And they supposedly have the strictest gun laws in Chicago. And look at that. I mean, it just blows me away. Oh, yes. This is a good question. Do you have a compact shadow?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
There'll be a video coming out of that this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, those are sweet guns.
Yeah, it's called the Shadow Line, and it's nice. The only thing is it has aluminum frame, and I wish it had the steel frame, honestly.
Yeah.
Because weight doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have more weight than less weight.
Right. Yeah, and we were talking about that off the air, with the Sphinx that I have, the STP Compact, where it's got the alloy, or it's got the stainless steel upper, the alloy or billet milled middle, and then the polymer lower. And with the trigger kit in it and everything, it literally feels and shoots just like a Shadow 2, a compact Shadow 2. I mean, the thing is awesome. The trigger's awesome. However, putting a dot on is not the easiest thing in the world. It can be done, but that's what we were talking about off the air, if anybody wants to know. And I was like, man, should I do it? I mean, I've got plenty of guns, but that are dotted, but it's now to the point, and he and I were talking about this, it's now to the point where my guns that just have iron sights, it's like, I either want to get them milled or they just sit there. And I have guns that I haven't even shot in hell over 2 years. I mean, they just literally sit there. If they're not dotted now, since I'm so dot driven or dot focused, not literally on the dot, but target focused, I should say. It's
right.
When I'm target focused and then I go to being front sight focused with an iron gun, it's just, I can still shoot them fine, but I'm just, once you get that dot, it's like, why why go back to irons when you can shoot a dot? So,
well, I did a thing where I compared the Canfaglio Stock 3 with a SRO red dot against the Bull Armory Viper, and it was, the weight is almost double the weight, literally, but it was just a flatter shooter because of that comp on it. It's pretty unbelievable. Like when you shoot that thing, it's like, woo, it's so light, you pull it up too fast. When you transition, it's so much faster. It's just, but getting it back on target's just as fast, which is kind of crazy. You don't think about it, but I never took them to the range and shot 5 rounds here, 5 rounds there, 5 rounds here. And it was amazing really seeing the difference that way.
Yeah. And that's what I did. I had the Shadow 2, my tricked out Shadow 2 with the SRO against the Staccato C2, which is alloy, and it weighs half the weight, basically, with an SRO. So same dot to same dot. The Shadow 2 has the lock, brass palm swells, which are another 9 ounces. It's a heavy gun. And I shot, both at the same time, both the same ammo, about the same pace. They weren't slow shots. They were pretty fast shots. And I was shooting like headshots at 10 yards. And I did it for both of them. And on that particular day, the Staccato won. So, and everybody's like, how the hell does Staccato beat this, the big old heavy duty Shadow 2? And I'm like, it was that particular day.
Right.
I mean, you're dealing with a single action trigger versus a double action single action. And of course I was shooting it mainly in single action, but the triggers are different. It's a flat face trigger. I'm much more effective with a flat face trigger. So there's a lot of variables there, but they're both fabulous guns. I would never get rid of either one of them, but it's just that particular day. So that's the thing, like you're saying about the Bull, the Bull. Now that comp, mine's not comp, my Staccato. And the comps do help. I don't care what people say. I've tested them and they definitely work. With the correct comp will work. But those little guns are no joke. I mean, when you need to pull them out and do what you need to do, they'll get down with it. So,
yeah.
But, real quick. And I know that some people have been waiting on this. We've been putting it off. I hadn't been putting it off on purpose. We've just been talking. But for next week's chat, we have 3 entries. And also, he is going to be picking the number. So it's going to be between 1 and 3. Will and Arm, have I told you the names that I've written down?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, I'm not going to. But right now, you need to pick a number between 1 and 3, and then I'll show who wins. So pick a number between 1 and 3.
Okay, I'm going number 1 because I think I was number 1 a few times and never got it.
Okay. All right. Well, the person that won is actually on this chat, and it is Red Menace. Let me see it here if y'all can see it. Red Menace won, so he is number 1. Number 2 was Michael L, and number 3 was Boom Outdoors. So there's your entry. So Red Menace, you are the winner, sir. But you are the winner. So, and he is actually right there. So Red Menace, you are the winner for the next week's chat. And he was pissed because he hasn't won yet. And I think he's entered like 4 times. So Red Menace, you might already have my email, but if you don't, I will put it in the replay of this chat. And if anybody wants to be on the next one, when this goes up in a replay, just go on there and say, I want in, and you will be counted in for the next one. But Red Menace will be on next week with us. And I know what he's going to want to talk about, everything red. I'm everything orange. He's everything red. So, congrats, Red Menace shooting. And if you ever want to see, I can't remember the name of his video, but he had, I think it's the fastest Shadow 2 or the hated Shadow 2 video or something. He shoots a Shadow 2 also, but he has the funniest damn review. It's just a hatred. I mean, it's just, this is the gun. Here it is. You know, it's just funny as hell. So it's an old video though. I think it's a couple years old, but it's funny. But we're getting close to the shutting off time, but I really appreciate you being on. I think it's been a blast. And, you know, this is another way for other people to find out about other channels. I didn't get into the channel because you have a channel. So I didn't say, when are you going to start a YouTube channel? But just, you know, what are you enjoying, just for people who don't have a channel, what are you enjoying about having a YouTube channel?
I'll tell you what, I think the more people that can produce content, even if it's a video a month, whatever you can do, makes the 2A community more accessible, makes it more normalized, and makes it more out there. So the more there are of us, the more normalized it is. So I really enjoy, you know, giving some of my rumors and bullshit out there. You know, if I'm right or wrong, I'm corrected. But it's good being part of it. And you know, I mean, my family doesn't talk guns. You know, my immediate family, my wife isn't interested in it. You know, she thinks I'm crazy. So it's nice to have, you know, I live in the suburbs and, you know, I've got one neighbor who shoots with me, but most people don't. You know, they think I'm the guy that wears the green shirts all the time, you know. But it's good having that community here and elsewhere, you know, that you're able to connect, and having that channel gives you that full connection.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think that, you know, just like exactly what you said. Yeah. And everybody give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, it was called Angry Gun Reviews. That's what it was. He's all angry when he's doing this review, and it's hilarious. But yeah, you know, if we can just get more normalcy out there, because we're just normal people. We're not the military tactical Timmies. I know there's some of them out there, and that's cool if that's their gig. But, you know, just normalize it. Just talk, hey, here's what I enjoy. Here's what, you know, I take people to the range and show them how to shoot, and I do this, and here's the guns I like, and here's my hobby. This is what I enjoy. If we can make it more normal, then it can be more acceptable to people who think it's not normal. You know, what's normal to someone is not normal to me. You know, I don't put on makeup and do all that kind of stuff, you know, or, you know, like some guys do, but maybe that's their normal. But I just think we just need to get it out there more. And, you know, by simply starting a channel, just like what you said, and I've told people this before, if you can just do a review, even if you don't, you know, do it with your cell phone. Hell, I mean, I still film all mine with cell phones. So, you know, I just try to keep it simple and, you know, to the point, and just give my opinion. That's what it's all about. I just keep it real, and anybody can do it. Even if you're, and I've said this before, even if you're afraid to have your face on video, just do a hand review. Just, you know, just show it. Just do it like you want to do it. You know?
I started out with face, you know, first half, and then tabletop the second half, and I'm like, oh, people don't really want to look at my face. So.
Yeah. I was gonna say I have a face for radio, so, you know, but yeah, I just try to keep it. I just keep it real and just try to make it fun and just give my opinion. People can value that opinion or take it for what it's worth, you know. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I really enjoy you being on. Please, everyone, go over and subscribe to Wheel and Weld Arm. Again, his channel is at the top of the chat, and also in the video description of this. So even when it goes live, you can go back over and subscribe to him. He's got some beautiful firearms. That high power, I love that freaking gun. I want it. I'm just like, that thing is so damn nice. Yeah, it's just out of curiosity, and I'm not trying to be nosy, but the work that you had done, and I know you've got a video on it so people can go watch it, but what did that approximately run, if you want to say? If you don't, that's cool too, but to have all of that work done to it.
Well, this isn't not. I took all the parts and I bought those parts and sent everything to him.
Oh, okay.
I took the dot. I took the BH Spring Solutions, all those upgrades. I took everything. The cylinder and slide, magwell, the light rail. So I took everything and I bought all that over time, so I wouldn't have to, pay him double for the parts or anything higher. So just the work alone was $1,100.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a beautiful gun. I mean, I think you and A&R Designs are the only two that I've seen come out of that shop. I mean, I've seen other ones, but I meant, like full blown videos on them. But yeah, they're
Have you
they're
seen
pretty
the
cool.
channel MK3 Firearms? He's the guy that did it, the work.
Yeah, I think that was him. Yeah.
Yeah, his name's Kevin, and the other guy's Matt. But MK, they're incredible artists, and they do a lot for me. If you've got something tricky that you want done, if you want to get a dot put on something that you're worried that somebody else couldn't, they add metal to things, and they do things other guys just can't or won't do or don't have the talent to do.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, A-dubs, I am not going to do a makeup tutorial. I'm not that kind of guy, but I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that will. And yeah, I don't do high heel cowboy boots. I just do the regular ones. But yeah, please hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it, everyone. Again, check out Wild and Weld Arm. And next week we will have on Red Menace Shooting. So he will be on next week. And if you again want to try to win the week after that, go in on the replay and say you want in, and you will be entered. So, but I appreciate everyone so much. Will and Weld Arm, you can stay on. We'll let everyone else go. And y'all have a blessed evening. Be safe out there. Remember, carry on, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.